Okay, we're back. We got one more beer for tonight to review. This one will be challenging, perhaps. Challenging my taste in beer. This is from Propeller Brewing here in Nova Scotia, and this is their Tango Lagered Ale. Okay, so Lagered Ale, a Kolsch. So you got your top fermented ale, but then they lager it basically, cold fermented. I think that's right. Sometimes I get them mixed up the other way around. Oh, CB Fall says Boa Note or night means good nightly. Okay, cool. Cool. I did not know that. Would have been better if he could do it in English, but you know, I'm not a bilingual, trilingual kind of guy. But here's where the catch comes in with this stuff. Agreed. This has natural tangerine and pineapple flavor in it for some fucking reason. I don't. Now, Kolsch is generally, because of the process they use to lager the ale, it gives you a clearer ale. So this should not be hazy or anything like that. I need to wash my glass out here. Just give me a second. Wash my glass and cleanse my palate here. Forgot to do that. But yeah, so let's see what they say here. Tropical and refreshing twist on the classic Kolsch style beer. Tango is a joyful fusion of sweet tangerine and juicy pineapple. So now this could work. As long as it's more tangerine heavy than pineapple heavy, this could work. We'll see. Light bodied and thirst quenching lagered ale. It's a delectable number. Now they used to do the California common beer, which I believe kind of vaguely fits into the lagered ale style, if I'm not forgetting my beer knowledge here. This says it contains barley, wheat, and sulfur dioxide. What? May contain rye and oats. Just hold a second. You're throwing me for a loop here. Sulfur dioxide. Why would there be sulfur dioxide in this beer? What? SO2 has three main roles in beer: an antioxidant function, decreasing the development of oxidation, haze, and stale flavor; antimicrobial properties at high concentration; and three, contributes to an increase of flavor stability. Okay, so they've got sulfur dioxide in this beer to keep it fresh. Okay. That's a new one on me. I did not know that thing. You can always learn more in this world. There's never an end to knowledge. All right. Okay. We'll see how this goes. We're going to pour it. We'll see what it looks like. So yeah, it's pretty clear. Seems a little hazy, but maybe it's just chill haze on the glass. No, that's looks a little darker on the screen, of course, on the camera. It's actually a very pale straw color. Anything else on this can that I need to be aware of here? So I'm assuming the sulfur dioxide is not going to do anything like inject any sort of weird flavors into this. It's just there to keep the pineapple, whatever you're using for the pineapple tangerine flavors. Just keeping those stable, keeping them fresh tasting. I'm not liking this direction Propeller's going with like natural flavors and throwing weird stabilizers and like just put your like this seems like it's a seasonal of some sort. I didn't check to see if it's a seasonal, but it feels like it's a seasonal. Do you really need like stabilizers in a seasonal beer that's only going to be on the shelves for a couple months? Do you really need to do that? Um, why not just go full on puree? I'm sure sure this is more cost effective. I guess is the big thing. Which again, another thing that I don't like seeing in a brewery like Propeller, starting to get a little too I don't know, away from their roots. Maybe I don't know. I could be totally wrong about that. But let's go to the beer. And CB Fall says, nice color of the ale. Yeah, it's, ales don't tend to look like that. They tend to be darker. Of course, again, it looks a little darker on the camera, but here it's a very pale straw color. And that's more the fact that it's a Kolsch. As a lagered ale, it's going to clarify it a little bit, lighten up the color. That tends to happen with this style. So cheers. We're going to go to the aroma here. Okay. Getting a little bit of the graininess from the actual beer, the actual malt. Just like a little grainy, grassy note. Dominant thing to be expected, though, is basically the tangerine. And I'm detecting a little bit of pineapple in there, but it's not a big note. If anything, it's mixing with the tangerine to make it smell more like straight up orange juice that you would buy at like the grocery store. And I'd say like unsweetened orange juice. It's just like boosting the overall kind of like citrus kick of the thing, I guess, in the aroma at the very least. Yeah, it smells okay. So far, I'm not being put off by this having pineapple in it, so that's a good sign. So, cheers. Let's take a taste. Mm. Very light bodied. That is to be expected as a Kolsch, as a basic Kolsch, as a basic lagered ale. It's supposed to be very light. You know, the pineapple and the tangerine mixes very well. The tangerine's the dominant thing in this. I'm barely getting any pineapple actually in the taste. It's very faint. Tangerine's the big note for flavor. And it's really the tangerine is kind of balanced with the sort of like light malt taste to this as a lagered ale where the malt character is going to be a lot lighter. It's not going to be as like pronounced as you'd get in just like a basic ale or something like that. Um so it makes for a very light, refreshing drink. 4.8%, so it's a little bit lighter than a normal beer, basically. Could stand honestly to be a bit lighter. Um, they knocked this down to like 4%, and then you got like this light, refreshing thing that like could compete with like White Claws and shit like that. Where there's not a lot of flavor, but can be those sort of spritzer vodka drinks or whatever, where the flavor is it's kind of there. That being said, this does have a little bit more flavor than those sort of things. Um, and it's still noticeably a beer, which is a good thing. I like that. And it's very easy drinking. Very easy drinking. There's a little bit, maybe the ever slightest little bit of citrus and kind of dryness in the back of it that just makes you want to drink more. There's no real, like, I'd say, like, big hop bite or anything like that, and I wouldn't expect it from this. Um, so this is a bit of a weird one. Like, trying to grade this, it's technically, I guess, a fruit beer as well as a a lagered ale. Basically, flavored lagered ale is what I kind of wrote in the description. Um, and yeah, I guess that kind of works. Like, I don't think I've ever had a lagered ale before that had like flavoring to it or anything like that, like that I know about. I don't know. Um, when generally when I run into a style I'm not familiar with that is good, I go with a safe route and I give it a 7 basically. Um, you know, could be a lot worse, could have some room for improvement. I usually feel like that's a kind of a fair grade for this sort of thing. So, style wise, I'm going to give it a 7. It's nice. It seems to do all the things it's supposed to do. Perhaps I'll get other examples of this sort of thing later on in life, and I can rethink my scoring or whatever. But until then, we'll give it a 7. My own personal preference, I'd give it a 6. I probably won't buy it again, but it's very easy drinking. It's nice. It's perfect for the warm weather that's we're starting to get. Um, it'll make a perfect summer beer. It's got good fruit flavor. The pineapple, which is a stickler with me, is not dominating in this, so I prefer it. I like the tangerine that's there. That's in the forefront, even though it's I could use a little bit more honestly, but it's good. So yeah, 7 for style, 6 for personal preference. I think that's a fair grade for this. I like it. So yeah, that's last review of the night. Like I said, I in the previous review I did tonight, um, I did do a little session of a few beers outside yesterday. Well, in our barn yesterday, anyway. But I was technically outdoors, I guess, in a way. Um, so that I got to stitch that together and edit it and all that shit. But that should be out sometime in the weekend, maybe Monday at the latest. We'll see. Um, but until then, cheers. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And we'll be back when we're back with some more High Tide and Vibe. But until then, good night.